Growing up, I have always been so jealous of boys. Seriously, simple hairstyles, peeing, standing up, actually having pockets in their pants, being able to mansplain, and best of all, manspreading. Why do they get to let it breathe and breeze? And as I've matured, the advantages of being a male didn't stop there. I couldn't walk to the store across the street without my parents telling me I was going to get kidnapped and suggest I bring along my man of a cousin. He's 7, and especially when it came to my health. I wasn't comfortable with discussing health concerns, fearing that it was way too much for my single father to handle. And don't even get me started on going to the doctor's office. But unfortunately, many women experience this negative encounter at the doctor's office. Take a look at a new analysis done by the Kaiser Family Foundations that found how nearly 50% of women reported negative experiences in the healthcare setting. Or take into consideration a recent survey reported by Forbes that found how 57% of female respondents claim they have been dismissed or misdiagnosed by medical professionals. And lastly, a study that NPR examined of how women complaining of symptoms consistent with heart disease were twice as likely to be diagnosed with a mental illness compared to men who complained of identical symptoms. Whether it be women feeling dismissed, not being taken seriously, or having their pain be minimized, women's health care in America is severely lacking, and we as a society don't recognize the implications that come with. President Joe Biden said it best: health care should be a right in America, not a privilege. It is beyond time we extend that right to women. So today, we'll first prepare ourselves for an appointment and examine why women's health care is so deficient. Next, we'll let ourselves breathe and breeze as we discuss how these issues are the dilemma for women in the United States. And lastly, like a hospital gown, we'll expose the backside and find solutions on how to help alleviate these complications. As much as I never wanted to see my male physician ever again, I couldn't escape his terrible listening skills. Nor could I escape the question of why women's health care is so behind. The McKinsey Health Institute, however, puts a spotlight on one of the answers, releasing data from 2020 that showed how only 1% of healthcare research and innovation was actually invested in female-specific conditions. Take, for example, a 2015 study published by the American College of Cardiology that found how women are 7 times more likely than men to be misdiagnosed and discharged in the middle of having a heart attack. Why? Because the medical concepts of most diseases are based on the understandings of male physiology. Another example of lack of research concerns menopause specifically. While 100% of women go through menopause, only 1% of studies actually consider menopause while researching aging, according to the Medical School of Harvard. And these symptoms of menopause can be described as going through hell, including disruption of sleep, mood, and energy, week-long stretches of menstrual bleeding, 10 hot flashes a day, dryness in skin, nails, throat, and even eyes slowly calcifying. And for 10% of women, these symptoms of menopause can last for the rest of their lives. When 43-year-old Sonia Florida was asked how menopause felt, she answered with terrible. I feel weak. I can't sleep at night. My hair keeps falling. I sweat, and I feel uncomfortable. I just wish there was a medication for it that helps me. However, with this valid wish can come with severe consequences. The McKinsey Health Institute explains how since the year 2000, women in the United States have reported total adverse events from approved medicines 52% more frequently than men. And it is even more prominent in 2024 because the Dobbs versus Jackson decision had unintended consequences on the medications that women receive. meaning that women often suffer from denial of needed medications. While doctors prescribe medications like methotrexate and misoprostols to millions of people for conditions like lupus, arthritis, and cancer, women are left to suffer because these medications can treat miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies. According to CNN in 2022, not 24 hours after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the Dobbs decision, Maisha Malone King got a call from her insurance company explaining that the medication she has been taking for Crohn's disease, completely unrelated to abortion, would no longer be available, overall putting her health in a situation that could result in serious repercussions. This isn't just a frustrating issue, it's a life-threatening one. When there are stories shared across the nation of women being mistreated, misdiagnosed, and straight up ignored, it is a problem. It is unjust to have 43-year-old Debbie Wright pass away right outside the hospital she visited for help, after being in the ER 3 times in 1 week, being sent home with anxiety medication when she really had a heart attack. It is unethical that the state of Arizona restricted Chloe Patridge from reproductive care, forcing her to watch her newborn baby die 44 hours after she was born. And it is unfair that because Candy Miller was afraid to seek medical care she needed, her 3-year-old baby had to watch her own mother become lifeless from sepsis. Whether it be our government or our research, women have been failed. Women are the backbones of our communities. They nurture and instill values in us that shape our society to what it is today. Yet we deny, gaslight, and undervalue them when it comes to their health. Women deserve to be treated. They deserve to be represented. And they deserve the basic health care they seek. It is time for us as a nation to recognize that we need to change this outdated and degrading system we call healthcare. So, what's the backside to this solution? How can we help alleviate these complications? As a young woman, being up here and speaking on controversial issues isn't easy. And while this shouldn't be a matter of controversy, our society has made it difficult for women to voice their concerns for far too long. That is why it is so important that we as women advocate for ourselves. Whether you are in pain or there is a minor complication, demand the test, ask for a follow-up, and request a specialist. A medical director explains that bringing an advocate can help invite and slow down that clinical encounter, overall bringing peace and awareness to your appointment. Next, realize that healthcare is always on the ballot. Politicians, who are generally male, old, and white, have been dictating women's healthcare as well as medical professionals. The American Progress and Center explains that anti-choice politicians are interfering with providers' abilities to give medically accurate health care. Don't believe me? Just last week it was announced by politicians that Medicaid is on the chopping blocks, not only affecting women, but our elderly, our disabled, and our children. Vote for politicians who are willing to advocate for health care. So today, we've discussed why healthcare is so behind. Next, we discussed how this issue is a dilemma for women in the United States. And lastly, we came up with solutions on how to help alleviate these complications. At the end of the day, I really do love being a girl. The only times I wish I was still a man is when I remember I can't pee standing up and when I'm at the doctor's office. Because I swear, if my doctor tells me again that I am just on my period, I will lose my mind. In all seriousness, with our commitment to change, we can help women feel more comfortable in the scope of their health, because healthcare should 100% be a right to everyone.